ahead, Johnny.
The coach from West Virginia mentioned you guys kind of changed your defensive look coming into this game, and you were thrown off a little bit because of the different, they scouted differently. I mean, you guys came out in that zone. Was that something that you guys planned on leading up to this game, or was it something you changed later in the week, or what was the kind of going into that change?
Yeah, we know in watching their games against some of their opponents that they were a little slower against the zone, and so we worked on our zone this week in preparation for them. We wanted to slow them down because obviously they score a lot in transition typically. We were able to hold them off in transition today. I think they only had 3 points in transition. But again, you know, following the scout, we knew that we could slow them down. But in the end, we just didn't shoot the ball well.
I mean, a big thing for you guys has always been turning your defense into offense and scoring in transition. West Virginia kind of hindered you guys on that a little bit. I mean, was it just purely just an off shooting day for you guys, or were they doing anything in transition or in the half-court offense that like really made it difficult for you guys?
Yeah, well, you know, going into it, we know that they pressured 40 minutes. So we knew that. I think early on in the first half, they were a little, you know, they were pressuring, and we were anticipating the pressure and throwing the ball away. And we had some costly turnovers early. I think in the second half, we understood that we got a flash to the ball and that they really were more of a containment than it was pressure.
In that first half, you guys kind of struggled on the boards, getting out rebounded 27-17. Kind of flipped the switch in that second half. What did you kind of tell your team? What kind of did you do differently in that second half if you changed the scheme up a little bit?
Well, it started with boxing out, and we had to box out because they were, you know, and they're a physical team, so they were kind of jumping over us and getting the ball. But in order for us to eliminate that, we had to box out and push them back a little bit and match their physicality. So in the second half, we were able to do that, get position to get the ball.
Kind of coming out of halftime in that second quarter, you guys like had a 6-minute stretch of not scoring. What did you kind of tell your team, because they fought back throughout the rest of that second half, even though the score might not indicate, but you guys kept hitting shots and shots. So what did you guys kind of do to kind of make sure that the mindset didn't like fold a little bit? Yeah,
and that's one of the things, Ryan. We wanted to make sure that they understood we can't get it all back at once. Mm-hmm. And so we've got to get a stop and a score, and to just concentrate on getting the stops, because we didn't have a 30-point play. And so just getting them in that mentality to stay up, let's chip at it, you know, a little bit at a time.
And it felt like, kind of with that, it felt like anytime you guys got it back to 10, West Virginia would come down, they'd hit a 3, and then hit a steal, and just anytime you guys felt like you guys were chipping away at it, like you guys couldn't get it under those 10 points. I mean, what is kind of like that for the players and you guys on the bench? I mean, anytime you guys had momentum, West Virginia kind of stole it right back. And what do you kind of tell the players at that point?
Well, you know, and they're a good team. They played together for a while. They returned them. They're 4 starters, and so they don't get too high or too low. And so they were on top of things. You know, we would score, and then they didn't panic. They went ahead and scored because that's what they do. We just had to make sure that we didn't get down on ourselves. And that was my major thing in the huddles was, let's stay up, let's play together. I think we didn't execute our offense today. And when you don't, you take these quick shots and the shots don't fall. And we've got to be more cognizant of executing and running our offense to know where our shot's going to be, and we're confident with those shots. And we talked about that in the post game, is that we didn't execute and should make shots that we're used to making in that offense.
What do you think kind of led to the not executing the offense? Was it because it was West Virginia? Was it, you know, you guys got down a little bit early? Was it partially too, or trying to get everything all back at once? What kind of led to that?
Well, you know, again, they were anticipating the pressure a lot more. They extended their zone. They played the zone and they extended it, which kept our offense up really, really high. We've got to be confident enough. I mean, we've got Tristan and Kayla who can get beyond that. We just got to be confident in doing that.
You mentioned just the offensive struggles as a whole, but what positives can you take for this, especially as you start to close out not conference, but?
Well, we know that we have a tough schedule. So we know that it's going to be tough day in and day out. And what I'm trying to get them to learn is we have to push through that. And it's going to be tough. Like, nobody's going to lay down for us. And to understand that, you know, we're a good team too. And so we've gotta have that mentality, and I told them, we've gotta get some swag. We gotta go in there understanding that we're a really good team too, and keep that in our minds each and every game we play.
What'd you see from Jaleesa Molina? She's someone that struggled at the start of the year with turnovers and personal fouls, but today she obviously had 3 personal fouls, but still was a menace on the boards, got some points as well. It seemed like she had a step forward today.
Yeah, like she said, she's been locked in, and she's been locked in all week, and we depend on her. And we've been feeding her the confidence all week, like we depend on her, and she's a really good basketball player, so she's gotta show that.
You kind of you talked about that this tough non-conference schedule that you scheduled this year, playing teams like West Virginia, like Villanova. How well do you think that's going to help you guys going into conference play with just 2 games left in this non-conference slate?
Yeah, I think that's very important. I mean, that's something I've done all my career, is challenge us, because when it all comes down to it, our conference is going to be really important, and it's like the important part of our season. And I know people want us to have a lot of wins, but I want us to be able to go to the tournament. And these non-conference games are preparing us. And each game we learn something new. And so I think it's gonna bode well for us as we get into the conference.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks.